Hi, I'm Tony Van Veen, CEO of Discmakers. The RIAA's 2024 mid-year report for the U.S. music industry came out recently, and it shows some very interesting trends both in streaming and in physical media. If you're an active artist, you need to know about them. So, let's dive in, shall we? Let's start by looking at streaming stats for the year. As you can see, streaming has hit an all-time high of $7.3 billion for the first half of the year. That's a lot of billions. 5.2 billion, or 72% of the total, comes from paid subscriptions, with the rest coming from ad-supported streams and other sources like SoundExchange. When you look at the data carefully, streaming revenue growth is definitely slowing down in the US. First half 2024, streaming revenues are up just 3.8% over the same period in 2023, after growing 9.4% in 2023 over 22. And new subscribers grew by just 2.6%. Clearly, the streaming subscription market is starting to get to a point of saturation. So unless subscription prices keep going up, streaming revenue growth rates will continue to go down. Next, let's look at how physical did. This is clearly a topic near and dear to my heart, and I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing, not just for me, but for all emerging artists out there. Take a look at this chart. Here's what we see. Total physical revenues grew 12.7% first half of the year to almost 994 million. That growth is more than 3 times as fast as streaming revenue growth. When we look at vinyl, we see the incredible strength of that format, with units up almost 11% to 24 million and dollars up 17%. And even our good friend, the humble CD, has been experiencing growth last year and this year. Units up 3.3% in 6 months and revenues up a modest 0.3%. When we do the math, the numbers I just mentioned mean that the average price per CD sold at retail this year is $14.09, and the price per vinyl record an eye-popping $30.45. Clearly, the ongoing demand from fans for physical media keeps supporting high vinyl prices. Now, the bulk of U.S. music industry revenues come from streaming, clearly, right? 84%, to be specific. Physical media makes up a relatively modest 11% of the total. However, you know that physical media is disproportionately important for independent, emerging artists who are trying to monetize their music. Why is that? Well, for starters, the current streaming royalty structure is stacked against indie artists. If a track doesn't have 1,000 streams in a year, it doesn't monetize at all. And if your track does monetize, it's not much. 100,000 streams, which if you ask me is a decent number of streams, earns you just $350 or so in royalties. The same as selling just 30 to 40 CDs. But it's not just the low royalty rate that keeps physical media growing each year. A small part of this phenomenon is about permanence. I think we've all experienced that songs we like that we added to a playlist on Spotify were all of a sudden no longer available for streaming. Buying a CD guarantees a fan will always be able to play your music. Let's face it, many people just like owning stuff better than renting it. However, if you ask me, the major reason physical continues to grow at double digits each year is this. Streaming is about consumption. Physical is about fandom. Let me repeat that. Streaming is about consumption. Physical is about fandom. Fans who buy your vinyl or CD want to own a piece of your music. They want to own a piece of you. They want to show the world they are your fan by buying and showing off your record. They want to show you that they're your fan by buying it at your merch table. And whether a fan who bought your CD actually listens to it regularly or occasionally or never is secondary. I've bought CDs at concerts. I'll open it, take off the plastic, check out the graphics, and then maybe play them once in a great while. But mostly, I'll still listen to that artist's music on Spotify. Does that make me a bad fan? The way I see it, I'm helping the artist twice. Once by paying for the CD, and again by generating some streaming royalties for them, no matter how tiny. Call me crass, but once a fan has given you that 10 or 15 bucks for your CD, or 20 or 30 bucks for your vinyl, what do you care whether they play it or not? You've got your money. Them listening to your CD or listening to you on Spotify doesn't make them more or less of a fan. I'm really heartened by the fact that the US market as a whole seems to be saying, I like the convenience of streaming, but I love the warm and fuzzies I get from physical media. And with streaming growth slowing, it's pretty exciting that physical media keeps growing at double digits. It's exciting for you because it gives you that income opportunity. I hope you found this helpful. See you next time.